never slow up, no I don't take shit, I got...
So is Brian Uriarte pulling the pin, or is he bunching it up to try and push Veda back as much?
Knows that he's got to stick with him here because it's he's pulling out sort of a couple. Oh my goodness gracious me! And those damp patches. It's still cool, of course. Those damp patches
is possible. What do you reckon?
Well, it's sensational, isn't it? You say Tines is the fastest guy on the track. His best result of meters every corner at the moment. Up the hill they go. Is there anything that Veda can do about it? So hanging around, but there's mostly a dry line. But you just got to be careful. You don't get off like this year. It's a couple of 12th places, you know. So, but he's quick. I mean, it shows now that he's up into a clear second place.
Slump up the inside of Carter Thompson. Are his tyres?
And maybe that limits some of the overtaking possibilities.
Pugliese had a big moment on the egg.
How competitive Rookies Cup racing is and how close it is. It was something that Danny Rivolta, the rider coach, was
starting to fade the Aussie, or is he just flailing with the exit of turn 6 there, loses a bunch of places. Dinesh then into second place ahead of Pratama there.
Pointing out to me, Peter, he said it is so close this year that even the guys at the back of the field.
Competition out there, not too sure. We'll have to ask him after the race because it looks like people are... So it's 1, 2, 3 in the championship, 1, 2, 3 in the race, but not for long as Pratama.
And the girl at the back of the field are still doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been. The pace is slowing compared to what it was, so it could just be that tyre wear really coming in now, Peter. And he gets sideways into turn 8 then, moving up into 4th position, the Japanese rider. Closer and more competitive Rookies Cup, and then it shows when they do go into Moto3 how strong they are.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because the dry line is forming, so the track is getting faster, but the tyres are getting...
How about this as an advert for the Asia Talent Cup? 3, 2, 3 and 4 are instantly. Maximo Quiles, another bit of an enigma, but wins pole position.
Slower. Right, so it is the 32 of Ramaddeepa now.
Asia Talent Cup graduates, yeah, brilliant.
Great stuff, and it is the 54 now.
Positions, podiums in his very first year, even when he started a couple of races late because he was too young.
We'll see what the gap is. It was 3/10 they go over the start, and that takes up the second place, Veda Pratama. Of course, as things finish like this, he would too young, that's right, and it's great to see Max there, isn't it? And touch wood, you know, he has been that finish line now, it's now 6, nearly 7/10. So, oh, and look at take second place back from Hakim Danish in the cup points.
I should also correct myself.
Overly wild stuff bit that he showed too, you know, a couple of times in Rookies Cup seems to have, you can see the bike moving around now as that tyre wear affects the stability as well. You know,
those are the 3 Asia Talent Cup champions the last 3 years as well up there as well. So brilliant.
Gone now, and
yeah,
he's on the edge. He pushes
character now, isn't he?
But he seems to know whether it looks worse than it is. It's not making the bikes unstable at all. But
absolutely brilliant.
Superb stuff. Right, but Brian now has an advantage of where the limit is.
Of course, he did literally crash out of 3rd position in the championships here last year and knocked himself.
It just, you know, you can see it moving around. The carcass is getting very warm, and they really. It was.
Oh, Mitani! Sorry, up the inside again. Yeah, foot off the bout. Ended up in the medical centre for goodness sake. Like he was a wild child by the time he finished.
Should be looking for the cool, wet patches of tarmac.
Dinesh up footrest and everything, Peter.
Absolutely, he is so determined, isn't he, to end his season on a high.
Rookies Cup.
That's right. He's a great kid now. He's a great racer.
Fastest lap of the race to 7th place now, ahead of Singapore, Benyat Fernandez, Zen Mitani.
I know, absolutely brilliant stuff. And as I said, you know, he's looking hopefully to impress people to get a ride. So it's
then Carter Thompson, 144.8. They get quicker and quicker and quicker. 10th place from the back of the grid. A really impressive ride from him. Lucas Brown.
Mark Umbrelli has his ride already, but he isn't slowing down at all. He's right on Zeka.
We are looking at Dinesh, who's now in 7th place still. He's got a British rider. He's going to take away a point if he stays there over the next 7 laps or so.
Ends tail and ahead of Hakim Danish.
What a character. What a character. Go on, Morelli. And Mitani's still ahead of him, but looking a bit more strong. Sorry, he's in 6th place now. He's 15th.
and Rabbitifa moving around big time as he came over.
He is well up into third place too. This is his signing off ride from Rookies Cup. Not Pugliese behind him.
So we're coming up to half distance here. Nobody has shown any kind of real over the hill there and down. Those tyres certainly getting up to a very serious tempo.
Slowly as he passed 3 years, but he's already announced to join the Aspar team alongside Maximo Quiles.
Advantage. Brian Uriarte has been the most consistent front runner, but there's a few others now.
I'll tell you what, Guillaume Plon absolutely on a roll here, whether it's wet or dry. He's in Moto 3 next year. No plan B he came in a Rookies Cup with. Plan
A go, and I would think the next man who is going to have a go is Marco Morelli. He pulls alongside.
Really enjoying the Saxon ring at the moment. You're seeing him heading towards. They has well and truly worked out.
That's right, and he's looking for his first win. No, he's not going to do it here, but I think that Marco could well have a look anytime soon.
Podium spots, his pace is certainly running with the leaders, pulling away from Thompson, David Gonzalez.
This season, he had 2 wins. He won in Jerez and Assen last year in Rookies Cup, but
of course, with this being the final races of the season, if you do miss Rookies, not far behind Thompson as well in 6th position, could be fit soon enough.
And Hakim, although he's got a couple of thirds and a second yesterday, he'd love to sign off with another victory.
His car uncontrollably, I know I will. You can binge watch Born Racers now on the Red Bull Motor.
Spanish is learning in 7th place, and that's very useful. He's got a handy points lead. He really doesn't need to do anything. There he is, the number 95, the Argentine 18-year-old.
And he's got the 95 of the Sports YouTube channel. Just scan that QR code on your screens. It shows you all the behind the scenes.
Anything silly here, especially with Brian Uriarte not leading this. He's back in 3rd place.
Lightning McQueen on top of his helmet as well. He really a little trick of what it takes to be in Rookies Cup, from the guys at the front to the guys at the back, and that was he is just in the middle of our screens ahead of Singapore. The 2023 season.
And while I'm talking about
to the Cars film, as well as he moves into 2nd place. Veda tried to get him tie rider and go neck and neck through towards the final corner. Singapore look behind him. He's going to see Zeb.
Internet and so forth. Don't forget that you have your last chance to apply to join the Rookies Cup.
Back on him, but missed out that time around. He also already loves the inside line here at turns 9. Zen Mitani right there. Zen could find himself actually in 7th spot if Danish is
up next year, up until midnight Sunday night. We've still got applications open.
And we saw that yesterday. It nearly brought him a bit of grief as well as he cut it too inside a couple of careful.
But you said the Japanese, along with the Indonesians and the Thais, know all about riding, and then we'll be choosing who will be invited to the selection event.
Times nearly clipping the back wheels of various riders.
That's right, but assuming that he's kept the same wet, and Zen showing what you say to be absolutely true at the moment as they go through in October to decide the riders who are invited to the Cup for next season.